So feet hip width apart, toes forwards, lift and separate your toes, place them down, try and push down a little bit through your big toe, feel the reaction then of pulling up through the arch, soften your knees a little bit, tuck the bottom under, imagine yourself using the abs to tuck your bottom under, scooping that tailbone under, hands on your hips here, roll and drop the shoulders, broaden, open out through the front of the chest, tuck the chin, lengthen the back of the neck, try and get rid of that chin poke forwards. We all do it, even Pilates instructors. Tucking the chin, lengthen up through the back of the neck. Feel something pulling up like a piece of string, a balloon, pulling up and drawing you up. Okay, good, good. Okay, and then rocking from side to side, squeezing each glute. Often good to overdo it to start with, really tighten and squeeze through that leg that you're standing on. And then just make it a little bit more subtle. Subtle is often a bit better. We can't maintain a high level of energy of contraction each time, so nice and subtle. Good. As you're rocking from side to side, try and transfer the weight slightly backwards onto the heels. Good. Scooping in the tummy, dropping the shoulders. It's easy to forget all of these bits and pieces as you're starting to work on these positions. Good. All right, now coming forwards and backwards. Take the weight as far as you can backwards before you want to fall over, and just feel what you have to do through the whole of your body, not just through your feet, through the whole of your body, what it has to do when you go all the way back and all the way forwards. Good. Brilliant. And then lift up through one heel. I like to narrow the feet a little bit for this one. Feel the tension through that standing leg, and squat and tension the standing leg. So coming, like to be able to see the lower legs there, that's it. Squeeze the thigh, squeeze the glute. Feel that activation through those muscles. Brilliant. Dropping the shoulders, tucking the chin. As we're doing it, thinking about the breath going into the lower outer lungs here. I've never thought so much about lungs and lung function. All of the physio research and everything is going into helping the lungs regenerate, if that's the right word, rehabilitate the lungs after COVID cases. And so breathing has never been quite so important. Try to breathe down into these lower outer lungs. The way that the ribs work are like bucket handles. You have this kind of bucket handle effect, like this. And so if you think about it, expanding and then breathing out and relaxing. The muscles contract to expand and they relax to whatever the word is. Good. Brilliant. So enough of that one. We're going to transfer the weight onto the right leg and pick up the left up in front. I would like you to circle the ankle. As we're here, broaden the chest, drop the shoulders, keep those hips level, circling outwards. Good, and circle in. Good. Let's now try to circle from the knee outwards. Fine. That leg will start to get tired, I'm sure. And then circle in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring that leg down. Just realise I've got some music on in the background. Echo. Stop. Good. Okay. Transfer the weight on the other leg. Squeeze through that leg. Pick up the right. Circling outwards with the foot. 6, 8, 9, 10. Circle the other way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now the knee. Really does come from the hip, to be honest. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and circle the other way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brilliant. So that gets quite strong around the hip flexors there. So let's just move the legs around to get those to relax off very slightly. Good, good. And then turning the toes outwards, turn the heels out, turn the toes out. That always brings us into that nice wide stance for these sumo squats. So tailbone pointing straight down as we squat, bottom tucked under. Good. And tense and tighten through the thighs as we come up tall again. Great. Dropping the shoulders, feeling the hips stretch, both at the bottom of the range here and at the top. If you really squeeze your glutes when you come to the top of that movement and tuck under as well, you'll feel the fronts of the hips opening out, which is quite nice after that last exercise that we did. Good. Stay at the bottom, hands on the backs of the ends of your thighs. Language isn't my thing today by the sound of things. Pushing your knees back. Good. And that should all be coming from these glutes here on the side. Brilliant. Staying down, lifting alternate heels. Good. Staying up tall, tucking your bottom under. Brilliant. And just a few pulses up and down to finish that one off. Brilliant. Come back up. Turn your toes in again, heels in, and then back to hip width apart. So, with our hands on our hips, I think we did this one on Tuesday, tuck your bottom under, take your weight onto your left leg, and take the other leg, your right leg, out to the side. Thigh pointing forwards, kneecap pointing forwards, and it should be quite intensively in this glute here that you're working. You're using a small muscle here to lift the whole leg to the side, which is why it's relatively intense. 2 more. Brilliant. Take the weight onto that leg. Take the other one out to the side. So before you start, tension through your thigh and your leg on that leg, and the left one out to the side. 2. Trying not to hitch up this hip. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 2. Brilliant. Give those legs a shake. Palms facing up. Bend your knees slightly, tuck your bottom under, take your hands out to the side, reach out, elbows in, hands together. So that nice stretch through the chest, through the arms. Stretch and push your fingertips out. Good. Make sure that if I was to see you from the side, that arms would be going straight out to the side. Lots of people are tempted to come too far back here. Brilliant. And it's all about staying strong through the front of your body, drawing down with the ribs and staying strong through here. Brilliant. Okay, next one, push forwards, out. And we're just staying up there, front, side, front, side. Brilliant. Good. Lovely. Pause at the side. Turn those palms forwards to the top and side. Top and side. Brilliant. So stretching and hopefully toning a bit through the arms as well with these ones. Brilliant. Stay to the side and pulse backwards and forwards. This is where you have to really work around here. Brilliant. And you should feel your shoulder blades kicking in. Not the shoulder blades themselves, they're just bones, but the muscles around them, of course. Brilliant. Come back down. So a little bit of an ache around those shoulders, hopefully. Good stuff. All right, end of the mat. Tucking your chin, curling down one vertebra at a time, peeling down, 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 all the way to the bottom. Once you're there, let the arms and the shoulders and the head hang. Nice and heavy. Good. Breathe in and out. Another chance to get some of that air down into the lower lungs, especially the backs of the lungs. Good work. Let's see if we can stretch the arms up above our back. So if you hook your hands together and stretch them up just that way, you don't have to turn them, just that way round. Good. And come over a little bit. This is called skin the cat, which always makes me laugh slightly. Horrible thoughts. Good. Good, and come back down, have a rest from that one, and then we'll do the same thing again. Hook the hands behind your back and stretch over. Good stuff. Coming down, sitting down on your heels. Any of you that struggle in this position, remember I've said it a few times before, it's really good to practice this. It's not a good position to lose for your knee health and your hip health as well, as being able to sit down on the heels. So it's a good one to practice. I've known a lot of people that have lost it, practiced it, got it back, and knees have felt a lot more healthy. So coming down onto hands and knees. Good. Stretching your right arm and your left leg out. Lift, down and in. So straight into that opposite arm and leg. One. I want you all to really focus and draw in the tummy, draw the ribs down and scoop in the tummy. Even if the back's a little bit arched to start with, I'd rather that than the other way. But scoop in, try and get that to be flat and continue. Good. Out, lift, down and in. And please take note that my back leg is hardly lifting. It doesn't go very high because I know that if I lift any higher, my back has to arch. You lift it to the block where you would have to arch your back if you went any further. Great. When you place the arm down, push through the arm and tighten it. So it's a really strong pillar. Oh, that's a good word. I'm going to use that word more. Good. One more each side. Last one. Good. Stretch out the right leg, lift, and bend and straighten. A bit of hamstring work. Squeeze in the tummy. Arms as two pillars. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep the back straight. 9, 10. Good. Come back down. That should be a bit achy, burny in the back of the leg. Stretch the other leg out. Lift, bend and straighten. Good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Lovely. Sit back on your heels, all the way down this time. We've done variations of this exercise, but I want you to sit right back on the heels. Stretch the fingertips forwards. Walk your hands to the left. hook your top arm over and feel the stretch down the side of the body a little. Not an intense stretch, this one I always find. Walk forwards again and over to the left. Good. Hands on the mat, drop the hips forwards and arch the back. And what we're going to do is 10 of these, down and push back up. Good. Down and push back up. Great exercises for if you have some back pain. A man called Robin McKenzie, can't say he invented these, but these are supposed to help a bulging disc go back to where it should. Certainly when I trained as a physio, dare I say it, 20 years ago, wowzers. These are all the rage then. Two more. It'll be 20 years this July. I qualified in 2000. Brilliant. Okay, coming up onto the hands and knees, just to turn back over. So, knees bent, up tall, arms out straight, tuck under and curl back, and come back up tall again. Scoop and tuck under. And I bet this time in lockdown has been the longest that I haven't practiced as a physio, I reckon. Good. Maybe I stopped a little bit longer when I had the kids. Good. Does feel like my brain's a bit out of practice though. Tuck under. More practiced at long division these days, and spellings and times tables. Good. Really scoop under as you curl back. Great. And let's just add the arms in for a few more. So opening out the arms as you come up tall. Open up, that helps you open your chest as you come up tall. Two more. Lovely. Legs out straight, come forwards. Tuck your chin. When you tuck your chin, it allows the nerves to stretch a little bit more. Feel the difference. Having your head up and then tucking the chin, it turns into a bit more of a sort of pinchy sort of stretch down through the backs of the legs. Good work. Okay, coming down onto your backs. Feet hip width apart, toes pointing forwards. Find that neutral pelvis position, and the reason for that neutral pelvis is because those deep abdominals, that corset muscle, doesn't work well when you're arched too far, and it doesn't work well when you're tucked under. It works beautifully in neutral, which is somewhere in between those two. Good. Tucking the chin, opening the chest, ribs down, tighten through the pelvic floor, and of course that pelvic floor is that cue for the deep abdominals to work. So squeeze, and then lift and lower. Good. The reason why we use the pelvic floor as a cue is because we don't have a good nerve supply to the deep abdominals. That message system doesn't work enormously well. So we've got to access from underneath, tighten there. If ever in doubt, it's good to put your fingertips on the front, push in with your fingers there, and then if you tighten your pelvic floor, you should feel a tightening underneath your fingers. And that's how you can tell that that is working. And if you want to know what that tightening should feel like, a cough will just tell you where the tightening is and what it should feel like. Good. Push gently down into each foot when the foot comes down to the floor. The other one should float up a little bit easier when you push your foot down into the floor. That will engage your glutes a little bit as well on that leg. Good. All right, and then we layer the muscles. So when the right leg comes up, that is exactly as we've been doing. Before the left leg comes up, you push down through here as if you're going to do a crunch. Pick up the other and down and down. It's nice to go through all of these basics every now and again because we do forget, and it's good to get focused again. Keeping those ribs down, squeeze in your tummy. Breathe. Brilliant. And when you pick up the second leg, I want you to feel to see if your tummy wants to push outwards. If it does, draw in and just stop it happening. Good. Swap legs, left leg comes up first. Relaxing the rest of your body, opening out the chest, tucking the chin. Good. 2 more. Brilliant. Give the legs a little shake. It's quite intensive on the thighs, this little bit. Picking up the legs, drawing in tummy. Okay, now we're tapping. Tap, lift, tap, lift. Good. Keeping strong through here. Keeping the ribs down, chin tucked, chest open. If you do tend to have your head to the side, looking at what I'm doing a lot of the time, make sure you swap sides a few times, put your head the other way. Good, and 20 fast ones. Keeping strong. Brilliant, and come back down. Nice deep breath. Breathe out. Ready for the next one. Legs back up, squeeze in your tummy, crunch, hold on behind your right leg. Stretch the right up, left out. Come back in, and then the other side. Good. Pushing up through that leg, tensing through your thigh, drawing in through your tummy. Good. Pause each time here. That's just your quick chance to recheck everything. 3, 2, 1. Very good. Come back down. That's the whole of that exercise, as we've talked about before. That's through all the stages of one exercise. Now we can go back to a slightly more relaxed one. Ribs down. Get that arch in the back. Tighten through the pelvic floor. Hands on the ribs is quite nice for this. Knee out to the side and come back up. And the other knee. Good. Rolling onto the outside of the foot. Good. This is your chance to think about those deep muscles. From this exercise onwards, it brings in the outer ones a little bit more. So drawing in. Good. Squeeze your glute to take the leg out to the side. Don't just drop to the side like that. Squeeze the glute to take the leg out to the side. Good. Brilliant. Knees and toes together. Hands still on the ribs is good. Arms out to the side. Roll over and pull back to the center. Pick up the hip. Create the movement. Start the movement by picking up the hip. Drive it from the middle. The knees and the feet just follow. The feet are pinned together. The knees are pinned together. Reach over with the top knee. Good. Reach up and over with the other top knee. Good. So it's a nice rotation and stretch through the back, but it's also very controlled by working all of these muscles. Lovely. Okay. Bring your feet again, hip width apart. I want the legs back up to tabletop, but concentrate on how you get there. Draw in, pick up the other one, and then take the legs sideways and back to the center, being careful for those hips not to rock. Good. Try to stay relaxed, keep the chest open, the ribs down. Scooping inwards with the tummy. Great. One more each side. Lovely, and let's stay up there and take both legs over. Good. Rotating through the spine, but also trying to keep those ribs down. Picking up the hip, taking the legs over. Great. One more each side. Lovely. Legs back down. So we're going to stretch one leg out, pull the toes up, tighten through the thigh. Can you see how my heel lifts up off the floor because the thigh is tight at the end of the range? And then come back in. Stretch the other one out, push the knee down, lift up the heel. Good. It's very dark down that end of the, you can still see. Good. Push away, lift up. Good. Push away, lift up. Try not to lift the whole leg, so it's not a whole leg lift, it's just a push of the knee down and the heel lifts. One more each side. Lovely. Now, tabletop, out, in, down. Squeeze the thigh, tighten, in, down. Up, tighten, in, down. Good. Shoulders away from ears. Chest open, chin tucked. Brilliant. One more each side. Good. Now with both legs and tabletop, ribs down, tummy in, stretch way back in, way back in. We're trying to squeeze in through that lower tummy, keeping the arch, keeping your chins up, chest open, shoulders down. Great. Good. Now we're going to crunch. Stretch out the left leg, reach away down the leg with this arm and across with the other. Good. And swap. Good. Don't worry if you get confused with the arms. I always think it's got to be on the bent leg. Cool. 3, 2, 1. Brilliant. And come back down. Well done. So that's a good sort of section of abdominal exercises there. I think that's probably leads us on to just a few crunches, if I think. Right, elbows out, shoulders down, tuck the chin, feet nice and planted, crunch and lower. I want the backs of the hands and the back of the head to touch the floor each time. So it's the full movement, up, touch, up, touch. Brilliant. Keeping that arch in the back. 5, 6, 7, good work. 10. Let's bring both legs up to tabletop and continue. So just keep going with the legs down if you want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brilliant. Bring your knees in. Lovely. So, on to our sides. Good. Down to start with your head propped in your hand. Tuck those ribs back, tuck your hip back, tuck your bottom under, scoop in that lower tummy, and lift your top knee. Good. I want both knees to meet each time, so not pulsing, both knees meet each time. I almost want to push into it. Top, bottom, so that you'll push at the top and a push at the bottom. Good. Both legs lifted. Keep going. 6, 7, 8, 10. Bottom leg down, top leg up, forwards and backwards. Keep strong through here. 7, 8, 9, 10. Stretch the leg out, pull the toes up, pulse up and down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rotate now. 2 from the whole leg. 8, 9, 10. Forwards and backwards with the straight leg. 5 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then slightly smaller taps behind and in front. 2, 3, 4, 5. Straighten the bottom leg out. Bend the top knee. Hook the foot behind. Top hand on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. Got to remember that on the other leg now. Other side. Head propped in hand. Hips back, ribs back, bottom under. Hand on your hip there. Just lifting the top knee. Good. Breathe. 10, feet up, bottom under, good. 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. Bottom leg down, top leg forwards and backwards. Staying strong. 4, 5, 6. Squeeze the bum as you go back. 8, 9, 10. Stretch the leg out, pull the toes up and down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rotate. 1, 2. 10. Smaller, big forwards and backwards. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Smaller toe taps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And straighten the bottom leg, bend the top knee and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brilliant. Okay, coming up, crossing your legs, stretching forwards, just coming from side to side just a little. Good. Okay, into a mermaid position. So tucking that bottom leg, I don't know whether that's the bottom leg, tucking one leg behind, foot on the inside of the thigh towards the knee there, up tall, trying to get that hip down, even if this knee comes up a little bit, we're better off getting that hip down. up tall. From the top half, you should feel particularly straight, I suppose, with the shoulders level. Place that hand down, and then a little bit further out, actually, we're stretching over and the elbow comes down, so we get a really nice stretch through that side. And then push and come back up. Down and over. Good. And if you push through the elbow there, you'll push your ribs up on the other side. Up and stretch. Good. 4. Drop the shoulders each time you come up. Push the shoulders down. Good. Good. 2 more. Lovely. Hook your legs around the other way. Good. Front leg tucked in. So that leg, the other one round, and just work for a second to push that hip down, even if this knee comes up a little bit. Remember, top half from here upwards, nice and straight. Hand on the floor, down onto the elbow, pushing over, pushing the ribs up. 1. Good. Drop the shoulders. 2. 3. Well done. 4. 6. Great stuff. 8. 2 more. 10. Lovely. Okay, so as promised in the last session, we are going to concentrate just a little bit on some planks. So out onto the elbows, legs out, dropping each knee down. We're going to do 20 of them. So stretching the legs out, tummy strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, bums down a little bit. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 10. This is where I regret it. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Have a little rest. So I like an active plank. People do like planks as a strengthening exercise, but they're so still. And in life, when are we so still? So it's good to move within those core strengthening positions. That's what Pilates is all about, this free-flowing movement. So the next one, I don't know whether you'll find it easier or harder, is with the hips up. You see that little adjustment there? That's where I naturally want to be, but tuck under, use your tummy. Knees start down, and then you push up 1 at a time. Okay, 20 of these, off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lovely. Okay, now we're in this position. Let's come over onto our sides. Make a pillow for your head with that arm. Other arm straight out in front. It's as if we're going to start doing these exercises again. The hips nice and stacked. Good position. Breathing in, take the arm up. Breathe out and rotate over. Good. And then just a relaxed breath as you come forwards. Then breathe in again. Breathe out as you take the arm over. Good. And again, 3. And 2 more. Last one. Good work. You guys can just turn over onto the other side. In fact, I think I might do the same, and then I can check when I come around. So breathe in Breathe out and over. Oh, I don't like doing that. I'm going to go the other way. Good. Breathe in and out and over. Good, so you can have both arms in front here if that feels more comfortable to you. Breathe in and out, or if you feel like you need to make a pillow for your head with the other arm, then do so. Last one. Lovely. Okay, turning onto our fronts, bending one knee to stretch the quad. Tuck your bottom under, that will stretch your hip flexor as well, which are very much involved in a lot of these Pilates exercises, those hip flexors. So great stretch to do afterwards. Brilliant. And then the other side, tucking under. Good. Lovely. Coming up onto the knees, stretching one leg forwards. So you can sit back in your heel if you feel much more comfortable doing the stretch that way, or you can be halfway up and doing the stretch that way. However you feel more comfortable. Pointing and flexing is quite nice. That gives you that slight movement in the stretch, which can be pretty good for you. Lovely. And then swap sides. Find the position. I'm going to do a little bit of both since I demonstrated both on the other side, just to equal out. Good. Point and flex if you want to. Lovely. Toes tucked under, hands and knees again. Pushing up, pushing down into your heels. Think about your armpits coming towards your toes or your ankles, dropping down, broadening the back of the chest. Good. Think about your tailbone pointing straight up, bend and straighten each knee, pushing the heel down to the floor. Great. Lovely. Walk your hands towards your feet. Hand there again. Take note of how much more movement you hopefully have at the end of the class compared with the beginning of the class. You can do one of those again, taking the arms over the back. Bend and straighten each knee. Great. Arms back down. And curl your way up to finish. Good. Okay. Hope you've all enjoyed that today. Have a lovely weekend.